So how do I do this? How the hell do I sum up this tour? The only way I know how. I don't know how. I was trying to figure out how to do it. I had photos laid out, and I was gonna just talk over them, and it was like impossible. So, I got set list pulled up here, and thanks to BMCD for the set lists. Then I made some notes earlier, so I'm gonna try and talk about it, and maybe I'll add some photos and shit later. I have no idea because I never done anything like this. LA, I kind of put a video out over it. I'll go real quick. I'll recap. LA was amazing. It's a little bittersweet at times. That's the first time I've flown since like 96 or 97. Took my wife and son out to LA. We met with Eric, he put us up in a hotel, and he was, a little more, he was knowledgeable of the area as far as getting around and stuff. We had no idea. And so the first day we were there, we went out to eat. Then the next day we had, off Friday until the show. So he took us out to Hollywood. We could see Hollywood and how dirty it was. But Elliot got to see the handprints and footprints at the Chinese theater. And I mean, that was awesome. We went to Ripley's Believe It or Not, which is also really cool. And we went out to Santa Monica Pier, and we both were recognizing places from Grand Theft Auto where we've been. And Elliot's like, "Hey, that's where my apartment is." And he looks at this building and he sees it's the same building that he has. It's in the game. It's funny. And it was an amazing time. And then we went to the show. And the show, I got there super early. Not as early as some, but early enough to where I was standing for around 10 hours or some stupid shit like that. That wasn't a problem initially. What was really cool was getting there and meeting people and having people come up like, "Oh, I watch your YouTube all the time, and I watch Guys and Guys," and it was really cool, kind of surreal experience. And I remember after I met some people, I was sitting there and a car pulls up and Vladimir Chupin gets out, and I just kind of pointed at him and he pointed at me. "Ryan Mear, is it really you? I can't believe it." And I was like, "Oh, it's you, man." So that's a guy that he's a legend with Band-Maid and everything, and it was cool to meet him in person. We've messaged back and forth before. It was really cool to meet him in person. Super nice guy. We kind of hung out at every show where we were together. We'd end up hanging out. And God, who else? I met so many people there. And meeting S.J. Nix and Peter Lim and another couple of guys who have been very key in a lot of very special moments with Band-Maid in the past. And they were doing some game show type stuff going on there. They had me and Alan come on and do a very professional Guys and Guys segment. But the amount of stuff that people were making on their own and just giving away or trading for other stuff. There's postcards and coins and stickers and towels that were featured during the show. And it was just an amazing experience just being in line and meeting so many people. But then it started to hurt, like physically hurt. It just did. I walked around the whole day before and then was standing there and it started to get to ache. And then I was like 40 something in VIP. But I didn't have my wife and son come out because I didn't want to make them stand out there and watch me talk to people all day. So when they got there, I guess people were upset that I was up at the front of the line. So I went back and hung out at the back of the line, which is where I met a man named Gerald, who I should have videoed, but I didn't. And he had his son there. He was a teenager also, and he's been a fan since the early days. He stumbled across them looking for Iron Maiden videos, oddly enough, and they popped up, and he watched them, and then I think he told me he realized that they were playing like that weekend or something. So we went and saw him. So he's been a fan since the early days. And, I had the intention of doing interviews and talking to people, getting on camera and all that stuff. And I'm not that guy. Turns out I wasn't as personable in person as I thought it would be. I got along with people fine. I didn't mind talking to them, but trying to hold a camera and it's just weird. And I wasn't comfortable doing it, so I didn't do it. There's a little bit of footage that I got with Alan, because he's like a energy supply. I'm a pretty chill dude. So that's outside. Then we get inside. Get a good spot. Should have been a perfect spot right between, Psyche and Miku. And then the show starts. And you guys heard me bitch about this before, but it really kind of ruined a lot of the show for me. So not only, my legs and feet hurt. This guy in front of me who was short, not my fault, as soon as it started, he'd hold his phone up over his head so he wasn't even looking at it. He's holding it right in front of my eyes. So I'd look somewhere else. And then he would inevitably move it right over to where the fuck I was looking. And it was really pissing me off. And it was ruining the show. And so I'm trying to look like under the phone, through his arms, by the guy in front of him just to see. And I wasn't enough of an asshole to tell him to take his phone and shove it. But it was just a lot of things were very frustrating. Physical pain, mentally exhausted, and now I got to deal with this dickhead who has he's getting the back of the guy's head in front of him because he can't even see his phone. He's not even looking at it. No one's going to see your fucking footage. No one's going to watch it because it sucks. So have some courtesy. If you're at a show anywhere, if you're going to video something, hold it right where your head is so you're not blocking somebody else. And even then, make sure you're not blocking somebody. Don't be an asshole. People are there to watch the show. That aside, I was kind of conflicted. Like I thought I was going to feel all these happy thoughts and just be like crying from happiness and joy of finally seeing him, and I wasn't. I wasn't feeling those things, and it was disturbing. I was like, well, what the hell is going on? I expected to be completely overwhelmed, and I wasn't. I was staring at him, and I wasn't feeling what I thought I was going to feel. And then From Now On started playing. They started playing From Now On, I should say. And like I snapped out of it. That song is one of the best songs I've ever heard. And when they jumped into it, it was so fucking heavy. And Micho was so into it. It was incredible. And I got a set list here. It's hard for me to remember like what all happened. So I went through Sense, which was really cool. Real Existence was also great. Everything was great. So it went all the way like 8 songs in. Influencer kind of woke up, that was great to hear, but then From Now On was number 9. So yeah, damn near half the show I was just pissed. And then Sayonara Kadori came on. And that made everything okay. Really it did. I don't think I've been more I'm tearing it now. More happy to hear a song than I was when that song came on. See, this is what I thought I was going to feel while I was there, just seeing it. But it was just weird. I think there's just too much going on, and I was just overwhelmed. But Sayonara Kadori came on, and everything was okay. It was absolutely amazing. It was twice as heavy as it had any reason being, but it was so heavy. And Miku, God, she put so much into that song. that second verse, when I try and talk about 4 Hours mentioned the second verse, that's what kept me. I wasn't a fan of the song initially, but the second verse kept me coming back to the song. I just wanted to hear her say these 2 words the way she said it, because it sounded so intense. And the more I came back to it, I realized that the rest of the song, you know, it was just a necessary thing. And when I saw her sing those words live, she was even more intense. I mean, she looked the way it felt to me when I heard it. And it was just like, wow, it's even more intense. And then, you know, the solo comes for her. It's like a, you know, rhythm solo. She comes up and she just fucking rocks it out. And then it gets into the last verses. And, you know, everybody's watching Miku. And I'm watching Konami because I know she has one of the best solos of her album careers, and the end of this song, hidden by the vocals. And I'm watching it happen. That song saved the entire day. And I don't even remember, there's Imagine Time, Choose Me, an Endless Story. And after the show, I remembered from now on Sayonakadori and Daydreaming and Hibana. God, Daydreaming. You know how much I love Daydreaming. As soon as that started, I finally just like snapped out of what I thought I should be feeling and just, I'm here watching my favorite band do what you do. And what I do is I study whoever I'm watching. I study the guitarist or the drums or the vocals or whatever. And that's no different because it's Band-Maid. It's still, I mean, fuck man, part of why they're so great is because you can watch them and you can learn. So I started just watching Konami and realizing I'm playing the solo wrong when I play it. But it was so beautiful. And the big surprise of the show was probably Hibana, which was, I believe it's a unique song. Yeah, that was one of the unique songs they did. And I was glad to see it. That's probably one of the most impressive songs I heard the whole tour. That song live was just absolutely incredible. I loved it. It was just incredible. It was the MC time. And Dice, Unleash, No God, Domination. Those 4 songs I think ended damn near every show. And it is a monster ending. Dice has become one of my absolute favorite songs of theirs. And it's just, the riff is one of my favorite riffs I think I've ever heard. Just because it was such a weird thing to learn. It was so out of the box for me that it will forever be a reminder of what you can do with a riff. And just the vocal lines, the vocal melodies and Dice are just S-tier vocal melodies. They're absolutely brilliant. How they work with each other and work against each other. It's just fucking brilliant. No God, extended intro and domination. It's just amazing. I mean, and you know, I skip over Choose Me, an Endless Story. It's just, I don't know. They were great. I know they were good. You know, Launch and I had, if there's a GIF going around of Miku and she starts doing this and she turns sideways and turns back this way. And it was hilarious because she just got into it and her battle gear is so floppy. She is so happy. And that was like, you know, Sayonakadori, and then having that happen was just, it changed the day for me and made it an amazing thing. So that was my quick recap of LA. So now we got to go on to DC. For DC, I flew, so after LA, flew home. I had to work for a week, and then I flew out to DC. I met up with Joe S. From the Discords, and you know, bless you, Joe S. Because you made it a lot easier than it would have been if I tried to just do it on my own. And we went to relatives of his house and stayed there. He's very kind, very helpful. Had a nice bed to sleep in, and we stayed there that night. The next day, we headed out to DC. I'm trying to remember exactly how we got there. It's just driving. Where did we park? I don't even fucking remember. Yeah, I think we just went to a parking garage. Fuck, I can't remember. So anyway, we go. I should have some footage to throw in here about the drive and all that stuff. I did take footage. I just didn't know how to fucking use it. So, see, LA is so overshadowed by the negativity of just kind of what happened. And I don't know if I'm explaining it or not. It's more a mental thing. Like, I was mentally just drained, I think. So I expected a lot of things and I didn't get it. But when I walked up and started meeting people and seeing everything that's going on, it was great. I just want to reiterate that the people were great. The show was great. I was just in a weird state of mind. My family liked the show. They had fun. I think they're surprised by how heavy it was and how just great the show was, and then how funny they were too. So yeah, man, I don't want it to seem like it was bad. It was just a weird, I don't know what the fuck's going on. It was fucking weird. DC though was a whole different thing. I had seen him. My expectations, you know. I wasn't, I was a lot freer. I had time to rest. We went there. We stood in line for a while, but not an insanely long time. Went there. I was with Joe. When I walked up, it was like, that's the first time I felt like a fucking rock star. It was insane, man. There's a lot of people. I met so many people. I mean, that was where I met almost everybody that I talked to on a daily basis from the Discord. Like, I met there. Guys that had been there from the beginning. Newer. I mean, everybody was there. It was awesome. You know, these are people like I said, I talk to on a daily basis. We've shared personal stories. We help each other out when we can. They help me out immensely. I can't give enough thanks to the mods from the Discords, both of them, from BMCD and mine, because we work together, and there's a lot of crossover with mods, and they save my ass a lot. And you know, whenever I have a question, there's always an answer. So it was great to meet everybody. So that was really cool. We went and ate. Got to sit and chat and see these people for real, you know, for the first time in person. And just enjoyed it, man. Went back in, went into the show. And I got up on the right side of the stage, right by Konami, on the rail. A little past where she is. Not directly in front of her, but a little past. Right at the rail. So I knew it was a good spot. And the cool thing was, when it was time for the general admission to come in, I turned around and Joe's right there. He's still GA, but he got right next to me. So there was like no difference in VIP or general admission. So he was there with me, which I was happy about. And so, oh man, they start out Sense again. But this time, my view's not obstructed. And I'm right there by Micho. And my mind is blown. It is just blown from the start to finish. What she does in that song. Let me tell you, this is the first time I've been able to see what Micho was doing clearly. Okay. And it's fucking crazy. The way she moves is somehow both mechanical and naturally beautiful. Her hand moves like a printer. Like a mechanical arm going from note to note. And that's where the beauty comes in, because she's very delicate, but it's so precise, it's almost scary. Like she'll move her whole hand to do movements that could be done with using multiple fingers. It's fucking crazy. And she does it a lot. There's so many slides and synths. The song is way crazier than I thought it would be. And I'm not even going to try and learn it because I know I'm going to play it wrong. It's not going to sound the same. Play is just a monster of a song. I think it's been heard so much that people, it's the second song, but it's a fucking monster of a song, man. It's just great. Don't You Tell Me is also, oh man, Freedom, Real Existence. What one was from here that was, we had I Can't Live Without You was a unique one for this. Yeah, that was awesome to see. But on this one, oh my God, dude, I got to hear Onset for the first time live. I was so happy when Onset came on. Then they played From Now On right after Onset. So that Onset is always going to be just a top song for me, just because of, that was like, oh my God, this band, these guys are rock stars. Like, that was just incredible for me the first time I saw it. And then to go from Onset to From Now On, that was insane, because From Now On is like, it's a better song. It's just better. It's heavier. It's more complex. What Konami does is it's just more complicated, and it's insanely good. They're both insanely good songs, and they're two completely different songs. But From Now On, they just ratcheted up. It just put the bar up there. It's an amazing song, man. And then Back into Psionic Adori. I did not mind hearing that every time I heard it. I was always happy to hear it. Now Homogenite time. What happened at DC? I can't remember exactly what happened. They're so funny. Every time they do these, they're so funny, and it's so different. I think that was that the skirt flip? Konami went up behind Miku and flipped her skirt, and Miku like chased her back to the stage and got her back. It's pretty funny. Choose Me, Endless Story, Daydreaming, and Manners. Fucking Manners, dude. Manners, I don't know if that was played before. I think it was played after that, but that's another one that it should be like on classic radio. I don't even care how old it is. It just should be. It's the perfect goddamn song, man. Warning, and that one they ended. Yeah, Warning, Unleash, No God Domination, same ending. Unleash is so freaking insane live. Dan, diddy, Dan. Love it. Absolutely. Fire fucking show.
I mean, for me, she was the highlight of the show.
Yeah, so we're on our way to Philly, and we were talking about Konami and what it's like to see her do what she does, and how different it is when you're there, and how different it is just from listening to the music. I know from seeing her in person do what she does and how her hands move was kind of eye-opening as to how it already sounds complicated, but seeing what she does, like, she does things that makes it more complicated, but she does it with such precision that it looks like a damn...
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell. It all looks complicated to me since I don't play guitar.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing how fast and fluid she is on there, and just the smile on her face as she's doing it all. Like, she doesn't have to like really study what she's doing as she's doing it, you know?
Yeah. It's somehow mechanical looking, but not at all. It's freaking weird. She's so precise that it's like she's like freakishly precise with her hand movements. I don't even know how to. There's like barely a change from this position to this position. She's just there.
Yeah, and she's smiling with the crowd.
Yeah,
dancing sometimes wildly while she's playing and stuff, and she never misses a note. You know.
Yeah, she wants to make sure everybody knows she's enjoying it. I know she looked right. When cameras were up there, she looked right at them and just made some goofy face or smiled or whatever. She's just so happy doing what she's doing. But we were in a spot. The stack of the loudspeakers are right above us, but it somehow sounded great. You could hear everybody. You could even hear Misa. People over by Misa and in the middle, they couldn't really hear it. It seemed like that much, but
yeah, I was really happy with the sound. I thought we were going to get blasted because of all those the PA system right over our heads. But
yeah,
I guess most of it went out behind us, and only some of it came down. But I had no complaints. I could hear
it was great.
Everything good.
It was just a good time. It was just an awesome experience seeing them.
Yeah. And it was great that I was able to get up there and share it with you too.
Yeah, I had,
you know.
Brian Sember sent me his VIP ticket, so he couldn't make it. So sorry he couldn't make it, but he sent it to me. I'm like, oh, thanks. And I felt kind of bad because I was kind of leaving Joe back in GA. And then so I went in early and I walked in and everybody's piled around the middle. So I went over to the side right by me, Joe, and I saw Vladimir was there. I'm like, well, this will be a good spot. I'm going to see exactly what his video gets. Then an hour later, I turn around and Joe's standing right there. It's like, well, you did good with your general admission, man. It's like everybody was concerned about being in the middle. That, you had VIP, but you're 6-7 people back. So I was very close to the rail. And, with the sound being good.
Yeah, and I was in my glory being right in front of Konami there. There were some songs I was just fixated on the entire song because she was so eye-capturing,
Contrary to what people think, it is possible to not look at Seiki.
Yeah.
I had to make myself look away from Konami because it was so awesome to watch her. And then I'm like, you have to look at somebody else. I look at Seiki, I'm like, yeah, I'll go right back to Konami.
There are some songs I try to concentrate on Kane.
Yeah.
And, even on Sayonaka-Dori, that's a slower, simpler song, but she's really working those drums doing that, so you don't realize. So,
that song's insane.
Well, not as bad as, but you don't think of it as a drum song, really.
Yeah, but it is.
But she was really working those drums.
She does so much. The only downside was I couldn't see Misa very much from where he works. Because Miku is usually kind of blocking seeing Misa. So that might be I say this, but I'm going to want to go back over by Konami. I got a few more shows, so I'm going to make sure I get over by Misa at least for one of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
That's an experience that will stay with me for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely. Right. So that was a better experience for me, DC. Let me go to Philly. Philadelphia. How did that go? Oh, so yeah, we went back and stayed with Joe's relatives, and then the next day we headed out to Philly. We had an Airbnb. I got some photos from that too, and I was curious about Philly because it's old. I want to see some of that architecture. And the place we stayed was just like that. It's a little Airbnb that actually happened to be right on the back of the venue they were playing. So when it came time to get in line, we just walked around the corner. We were all right there. And it was it's a house, but it's like, built. It's one big building with all these separate houses in between. I think of a house as like a thing that sits on its own, but different things, different places. But it's old. The road was literally 6 feet wide. There's like a T right where the house was. What was that? Aurelian and Cater Street. And they're about 6 feet wide. Old brick roads. It seems like they've never been repaired. The curves and everything are just wore down from weather and traffic. And all the trees had grown up and pushed all the bricks, you know, out of shape and pushed them away from where they were supposed to be. And it was a really cool little road. And it's pretty narrow. It looked more like an alley, but they were streets. And there was some great artwork on the buildings and mosaics inlaid on the end, at the end, the one end of the street. It was really cool. It was beautiful. Beautiful sunny day. And so we go to get in line, you know, and people there were, it was less people wanting to talk to me, which was, I mean, it's fine. It was, I got, you know, the 2 shows I was at, I got used to it. Like, walk up, people are going to say, hey, you know, and there was like, all right, I took shirts, like I'm going to give away shirts. Because I had some extra shirts at home, and I gave quite a few away at LA and DC and Philly, like nobody gave a shit. there was a lot of cool people I met. I'm not saying I didn't meet anybody. There's a lot of people I met, but it was just a different vibe. Where are we at here? What's up, guys? Where are we going? What? I will get a number. Who's doing the numbers here? Yeah. What's up, guys? What's up, man? How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you.
What's your name?
Jason.
Jason. I'm Ryan.
I've been following you since the beginning of your Band-Maid reaction.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you've been doing that ride with me, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
Cool, man. How you doing? Ryan, nice to meet you.
Is this Champ here yet?
He's not here. Yeah, but it's Champ. So
You want to make sure you woke up this morning?
Yeah. Yeah. It is Champ though, so you know. He'll wait till the last minute.
He thinks noon is early, so
When it's a quarter till, he'll be like, hey, I'm on my way. That's what he does.
Apparently, he really hasn't been listening when you guys were getting excited about the reviews.
Yeah. Yeah, but when he gets here, give him a bunch of shit. Okay? Here's, look at these yahoos.
How are you?
I know you guys.
who are you?
You know who I am.
Get the camera out of my face. What's wrong with you?
No pictures, no pictures.
And there was like a homeless couple that was causing some shit at the doors. This dude had like a pit bull in a harness, and he walks up just ready to, you know, he didn't give a fuck. And the guy's at the door's like, dude, just get out of here. You're not supposed to be back here. And the guy just keeps like tearing through trash and shit. And he's like, dude, get the fuck out of here. And they start screaming at each other. The dog starts fucking barking and jumping at people. And then his girlfriend was screaming across the street. And then he'd go across the street. She'd come over and start screaming. It was just like chaos for a good 45 minutes. It's like, I'm going to go get a Philly cheesesteak. So I go over there. Then he comes over around there with his dog just yelling and just being a fucking nuisance. And that was the only excitement for a while. Then we had a motorcycle gang, crew, whatever, come down, somehow doing wheelies like slow motion down the road. It's pretty impressive, actually. Yeah. And what else happened with them? With Philly? Oh, they were coming by and they had upgrades. You could get balcony seats for $60. I was like, you know what? I will sit and watch a show. I've been close. I'll sit. So we upgraded and ran into our friend Matt from the Discords. Got to meet him finally. And dude, it was so cool. We upgraded. And Alan was there. And so it was me and Joe, Alan, and Matt all sitting together. And we were dead center of the venue. No obstructions at all. The sound was fucking great. That show was incredible, man. And we got Influencer, which I guess they played a couple times. So Philly, they started Sense. I think every time they started with Sense. And it's always great. Play play Don't You Tell Me Freedom Different Alone. Onset, From Now On, and Sonic Dory. I didn't mind seeing it again in that order. It was such a great, those 3 songs are so fucking great all on their own. And they played Influencer, which was, I don't know, 5 times as good live. I already love that song. I've been listening to it all the time since it came out, and seeing it live makes me listen to it even more. I absolutely love it. And it was so, everything was so much heavier live. Fucking crazy, man. Crazy. So this is the first one where they cut a song off from the end of it, which I don't blame them, man. The amount that Psyche puts into their music to the vocals is insane. She is working. That's one thing about them. None of them half-ass a damn thing. They're working hard the whole time. Konami looks intense at times, but I think that's from what she's playing as opposed to what she's doing. She makes her playing look effortless. It's insane, man, because I've tried playing what she plays, and it's not fucking easy. Misa is just the epitome of cool. You can tell she's into it, and she's just stoic, powerful. Miku is a bundle of energy, but I love it. She still has what it looks like is she's, focusing on playing guitar, but she can't help it, so she has to like headbang a little bit, but then she has to look back at her guitar. It's just the way she plays it, so it's like she has little bursts of energy while she's playing. I love it. But Psyche is she is in absolute command control when she's on stage. Everybody, whatever she wanted people to do, we fucking did it. And one of my favorite things was this Unleash? Can't remember which song. There's one part of every song where whenever I listen to it, the vocals come back in and she would start doing this to get everybody to clap about 6-7 times. And it's just, she'd start singing, she'd do it, we'd all start clapping like we were supposed to, and then she would stop and we'd just keep going. And it was just, I can't hear that song without seeing that. I love it. And she was so happy too. We've all of us been watching videos from before, and not that she wasn't happy, but this time she was so clearly happy that it was just a joy to see. But man, if there was something that was hard to sing, that's the other thing that was just evident, was it's not easy for her. I'm not saying it's difficult. I just mean it takes effort, what she does. And she would go from singing something intense and to it looked like she was almost mad, and then the next instant she's smiling because she either pulled off something or she just saw somebody in the crowd, whatever, and she would just have the greatest fucking smile in the world. This band is just incredible. It's just something to see because their music is intense, I didn't even talk about Akane. She's back there pulling faces all the fucking time. No matter what she's doing. She is just, sometimes every beat she's pulling a different face just for the hell of it. Nobody's watching her. Kami or Misa's not back there egging on. She's just doing it. If somebody's seeing her in the, watching from the crowd. But she is also something to behold, to watch her play. She's brutal on the drums. She's tough. She's a hell of a drummer, but she's also graceful at the same time. There's this dichotomy of power and grace that is just essential to Band-Maid. It's kind of amazing. So yeah, Philly. So after Philly, we went to a bar for an after party, and me and Alan decided before the tour that we weren't going to drink, going to help each other out. It didn't work out that way. I blame Matt. Matt was very generous. So it was fun. We went to the bar, had a good time. Made it back to the Airbnb, which had a spiral staircase that was about straight up. So after drinking in the bathrooms on the second floor, it was kind of interesting. Nobody fell down the stairs, so that's good. That's all I'm going to say about that. It was a great time, man. It was honestly a great time. Damn. Next up is Irving Plaza. I think I might save that for the next one. I know, what a dick. But I'll get to it, man. It's too big. It's too big for to include in this video, you know what I mean? So I'm going to leave it right there. You know, I've met so many people, and I shook so many hands, and I saw so many smiles from all over, from the world, man. There's people from Japan and Hawaii and Indonesia and Philippines and the UK and France and Germany and just fucking everywhere, just to come see this band. It's awesome. I've been to a lot of concerts. I never met so many people from all over the place. So that's the power of Band-Maid. Literally just bringing the world together. So I will continue this with another video as soon as I figure out how to make this one worth watching. And I love you guys. It was a pleasure to meet all of you. And we'll continue this with the Irving Plaza show, the next video. Thank you so much.
So, hey. We're coming in, we're in New York. We're coming through Brooklyn.
And then into Queens.
Into Queens. And all the other places I heard about from listening to Beastie Boys for the last 30 years.
And then Nassau County, where I live.
Nassau County. So I'm riding with Joe and coming into the city that I've, thought about a lot and wanted to visit a lot, and I'm here. And then I just remembered that I'm here because I'm coming to see a Band-Maid show. But it's brought,
to get you here.
yeah, it's brought so many cool things that I don't know. I mean, for both of us, really. But we coming from Philly, and that was awesome. I upgraded got us both balcony seats. Well, did Matt? No, Matt got that one's balcony seats, and that was great. Center of the venue, totally clear shot, and sounded awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. What else? I mean, it wasn't too bad there. There was some crazy fucking dude with a dog that's caused us a bunch of trouble before the show. That's a little unnerving. But other than that,
and we slept right behind the venue.
the venue was on the same building as where our Airbnb was, so we just had to just go right around the corner, and we were there. That was nice. Stood in line for an hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
Got balcony seats. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Tomorrow we get to do it all over again.
Yeah, we got a day to recuperate and get to see him again. Pretty excited.